This week in comic books, we get Blood Syndicate number 3. And that per the rules of 2022, we have to know the sexual preference of everybody at this point. But Blood Syndicate did something really cool. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Also in the land of Marvel, we got Judgment Day. And that thing's just a hot mess. Like, what is going on there? How much stuff are you really trying to cram into a comic book? We'll break down some of it, and I still won't hit all of it. It's crazy. And in Independence, I only got one Independent this week, and boy, it is some white trash heaven. Florida Man.
Yeah. My come and never sleep on me. I some change so you know go get what you're looking at. Food no noon hoodie 멍청해.
Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? Pocan Joe, and as always, I'm super happy to have you here. Definitely, before we move on, let me know what you thought about that intro down in the comments. Please let me know. I've been kind of playing with some things, editing. The only way I'm really going to know if I'm like resonating or not resonating is, of course, by you. So definitely, and as always with anything that I have, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. Your comments are very welcomed. So let's jump into this week with Blood Syndicate. So I sarcastically said in my intro, per the rules of 2020, we have to know the sexual preference. Sexual stuff is private in our house. We don't share that. I guess we're opening up as a society, I guess. I'm not really sure. But in this one, we find out that at least two characters, one, definitely homosexual. Another one, I'm not sure. I believe it's pansexual or something along those lines. I think they like the boys and the girls. I don't know. It gets confusing at this point. The story did a great job. Like, it mentioned it. It obviously showed it to some degree. That you could. But it doesn't harp on it or lecture you about it. It's like, oh, hey, I've been trying to call you all day. Oh, I miss you, baby. Right? And then it's like, hey, this is my significant other. And they roll through it, right? And I think that's smart. I really do. I think that is smart, because if the whole thing was, oh, hey, honey, oh, by the way, they're cis, or they're straight, or whatever the case may be, right? You're just dividing your market at that point, and the people that you're trying to get comic books to. In this, they're trying to reference that, yes, that these are normal people that live in this particular community that are different, right? Different, but they all live in this community and they all have to live together. And I really like that. I thought that was smart. I've really been enjoying Blood Syndicate as just a whole. All right, next, let's talk about some heart garbage and a horrible writer that did the exact opposite of, and this may get a little spicy, and I apologize if it does, but they did the exact opposite of what Blood Syndicate did. And this is Mrs. Fizz Martin, who wrote us this week, Dark Crisis, Young Justice. This is issue number 2. Oh, God, this is so poorly written that even the statements that are in it are just absolutely unfounded. And it's because the writer of this particular book, I don't think, has a clean grasp or understanding of what team dynamics are. So Casey, who's in a team, right? She's in a team. And Arrowette, you remember that vague reference character all the way back, first appearance was in Impulse. She's going off about how she's always running to the boys every time they need her. And the only time you come to me is when you need something. Well, that's not the only time that she goes to the boys, too. Like, that, it's a team at this point. They're not family, maybe loose friends at best, but they're people that are bonded together with some sort of duty or some sort of goal. They don't need to be having sleepovers, ice creams, and cookies at the end of the day, right? I mean, picture this, right? Your local police department, right? They all work together. They all do things together. They might have a cookout every now and then, right? But I doubt very seriously, like, one guy's calling a guy on another shift like, man, I'm feeling kind of bummed out. You talk to me about my feelings. I don't even think the women on the police force would do that. Just because there's a certain line, even in team dynamics, and what people can do on a team. And Arrowette tried to explain, when she was on the team, well, no offense, but you should also know your place on a team. You have super-powered beings, right? Or super genius level people, and then you have an archerer. That's right, a skill that anybody that can pull 50 pounds with one arm can obtain at some point with reasonable accuracy, I might add. That's why they teach it in, like, summer camps. I know that's horrible to say. I know that was bad, but it's reality. And of course, we have to throw out the patriarchal statements and just empty phrasing and bud slurs. But what made this the bigger mess is, and this is probably my fault, I didn't get issue 1, but it's not very hard to follow. Like most things that have to rely on other subject matters, the story's pretty pedantic at best. Our superheroes got wished into a magical reality woo-woo land, and something's just not right. The first clue that they should have had was the fact that people that don't normally like them, for some reason, like them. Like, people just don't come out of the blue like, oh, hey, it's good to see you again. I'm very proud of you. And they start singing affirmations to you. Like, that was weird. That should have been the character's first guess. I don't really know. There's not really much I can say about this. It's bad. I'll just say it. I'm sorry. And if you read this and you're like, hey, I really liked it, let me know down below what you liked about it. I don't get into like arguments or stuff like that. I'll generally just follow up with some questions or something, but I'm not really seeing what the draw to this comic book is. Even the art's in it kind of. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about something good, right? Batman, Superman. Oh, world's finest. This is so good. Superman has to sacrifice himself. Remember in the last issue we found out somebody has to go in with Nazim into the thing to lock it and stay in there with eternity for him. Well, that happened. Kind of. Oh, this was smart. So, while they're sitting here battling Nazim before they push him in there, they're arguing about who's going to make the ultimate sacrifice. And everybody, of course, wants to do it because they're heroes. Superman's like, nah, son, I'm just going to blast him with the Phantom Zone ray. You remember that thing? He shoots you into the Phantom Zone. I'm just going to go send him over there. Why send him to the tomb? Just send him there. Well, there's an interesting little thing. He tears through reality back into our world. I immediately really liked this concept because it kind of gave us an understanding of this particular villain and what he's actually capable of doing. Yeah, he did some mind control stuff earlier, and that was cute. But to be able to tear through reality, to step back into ours, I thought that was pretty dope. I'm not going to lie. So then they wrestle him in there. Superman flies through there and seals it. And everybody's upset that Superman went and did it. And Batman's all like, not again. Because, they're buddies now. And then he, pauses for a second. He's like, the hole is still torn open, but it's closing. So they rush over there, and they pull through that Joker, and they pull Superman back out, forever locking this villain into eternity back into his tomb. Or at least until they need him again, because he's actually kind of interesting. All right. So what else is going on in this? We got some time traveling stuff coming up. I know. Time traveling stuff. It's always confusing, weird, and never very well explained. But we're going to be dealing with that because Robin is still stuck somewhere in the time stream in some way, shape, or form in the past. And now Batman, Superman, we got to go find him, right? So that's going to be a thing. So for the most part, I enjoyed this. I hope we get some more of these ancient Chinese warriors, the Jie, from back in the day, from when they time traveled back and met them to figure out how to beat this villain. I hope, this wasn't a throw-off thing. I hope we get to see some more of that. Because Chinese mythology, it's interesting. There's a lot of good stuff there. So yeah, good stuff. All right, moving on to Marvel. We got Aliens. Aliens was good this week. Not much to say about Aliens, though, right? It's always kind of always the same story, right? Evil corporation uses soldiers to either go eliminate the alien or deliver it someplace. Directives change. Alien comes out, eats up the crew, yada, yada, yada. Guy in charge, person in charge, ends up destroying the alien. Or do they? Because there's always a sequel. That's a solid plan, and I enjoyed it, and this was good. I did like the different take on the androids in this one. They used a more basic soldier-like one that was capable of lying, so I thought that was kind of cool. Next in Marvel, Judgment Day. This is just a hot mess. Hold on, let me break it out for you. This is great. You know I take notes because I'm a huge nerd. But let me read a couple of things off to you that happened into this thing. This is ridiculous. You don't put this much stuff into a comic. You can't comprehend all this. It's ridiculous. So first off, we have a Thanos-like character. It's actually Thanos' grandfather. So we got the big reveal of the villain. right? Or one of the villains in this, right? We have political persuasioning and political games using useful idiots. This is just, I don't mean useful idiots, it's an actual political term. I was going to explain it better, but we're running late. We got kaijus. Apparently, there's some Eternals out there that are kaijus. Didn't know that, did you? Nobody did, because they just made it up. A lot of telepathic stuff. Lots of traitors in this one. We have Eternals that are portraying the Eternals, and we have X-Men that are portraying the X-Men. I'm pretty sure somebody from the Avengers will be betraying the Avengers here in the next issue or two. It's so much stuff. And then the whole complication of taking over Mars and then attacking Earth, and then the world machine, as we call it, Earth talking. It's so much. And don't get me wrong, I'll read a good novel. But in the first chapter of a novel, you don't dump every single issue that's about to happen, right? You feed that stuff out over a period of time. This is what hooks the people on. Because as quickly as a problem comes, a problem needs to go. And we have quite a few issues here. So what are you backlogging all this other stuff with? I don't know. I do like the Euthos in this, the Thanos relative. I do like him as a character, though. If I had to point at one thing and say, you have to say something good about this comic book, I would say he's like a quieter, more sadistic Thanos. Yeah. Man after my own heart. All right, last but not least, oh my God, this Florida man. You may remember, like, almost for like the longest time, like mainstream newsreels would always be saying something to the effect of, "Today, a man in Florida," right? And it was like the most ridiculous, wrestles an alligator, does bath salts and rips somebody's face off, or runs around naked. Like, it was always something weird to the point that it was like a meme for like the longest period of time. This takes all that and rolls it into, the down on his luck, kind of poor white guy, kind of a redneck. He's not from like Miami, Florida. Nah, he's from Yeehaw, Florida, right? Like, yeehaw, right? Swamp for gators and all that stuff, right? He's from that part of Florida, the part most of us shouldn't be going to at any point in time of our lives. Anyway, and just a whole mess of stuff. Like, it's very hard to follow in the beginning because you kind of get lost in the characters, right? But basically, his girlfriend gets pinched. She's in jail for apparently trying to do a striptease at a Waffle Hut. $500. He tries to sell a baseball card, tried to sell an alligator, takes on an odd job, and it's just a bunch of messy stuff. If you like just problem after problem after problem, because stupid solution, with some comedy in there and some just that great white trashy goodness, this is definitely your comic book. All right, guys, that's my haul for this week. I want to personally thank you for swinging by. Again, if you hung out this long, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to get some stuff up. Who knows? I have some things coming. And I've been able to go through some of a collection that I purchased a while back. I've been able to get through some of that. So, who knows? Maybe we'll show a few things. Anything in particular you want to see, let me know down below. Also, at the end of the month, over at Evil Layer Projects and Builds, we're making something there. You definitely want to check that out. Of course, that's linked down below as well. All right, guys. I got nothing else. I got to get out of here. Talk to y'all later. Bye.